You know, it's easy to think chemistry is just for labs with bubbling beakers and scientists in white coats. But the truth is, it's happening all around you, every single day, in some of the most unexpected ways.
Just think about the sound of a burger hitting a hot grill, that sizzle, that perfect brown crust that forms where it was just pink a minute ago.
Or how about this? A brand new, shiny piece of metal left out in the rain slowly gets covered in that flaky, orange-brown stuff we call rust.
And then there's the almost magical moment you crack a glow stick. You bend it, you hear that little snap inside, and boom, it's suddenly filled with this amazing, eerie light.
Every single one of those things, the burger, the rust, the glow stick, is a chemical reaction happening right in front of you. It might look like magic, but it's pure science. So what's really going on down at the atomic level?
All right, let's break it down. What is a chemical reaction anyway? Well, the key thing to remember is that it's not about destroying stuff or creating it from nothing. It's actually just a rearrangement.
So, the official definition sounds a little technical, but it's pretty straightforward. It's a process where your starting materials, we call those reactants, basically break apart their old connections and then reshuffle themselves to create something totally new. And those new things, we call them products. The most important part is that you end up with a completely different substance than what you started with. Let's make this way easier with an analogy I think we can all get behind. Pancakes. Your reactants are just your ingredients, right? The mix, the milk, the egg. The reaction is what happens when you mix them all up and pour them onto a hot pan. And the products? 8 delicious pancakes. You can't uncook a pancake to get your egg back, can you? Nope. That's because a real chemical change has happened.
Okay, so now that we know what a reaction is, how can you actually spot one? You don't need a fancy lab or a microscope. You just need to know the clues. Let's turn you into a reaction detective.
And what's wild is that these 5 clues are all around us all the time. If you ever see a sudden color change, or bubbles starting to form, or a solid suddenly appearing out of 2 liquids, or maybe something gets really hot or cold all by itself, or even starts to glow, chances are you are looking at a chemical reaction in action.
Let's look at color change. You slice an apple, it's perfectly crisp and white. But if you leave it on the counter for a little while, it starts to get brown and unappetizing. That browning, that's a chemical reaction with the oxygen in the air, creating brand new, darker stuff. The apple isn't just getting old, it's literally changing its chemical makeup.
Oh, and this next clue? It's an absolute classic. You probably did this in school, the baking soda volcano. You take 2 normal kitchen ingredients, vinegar and baking soda, you mix them together and poof, you get this awesome fizzy eruption. Those bubbles are actually a brand new product, carbon dioxide gas created right there on the spot.
Now you might be thinking, there are millions of possible reactions out there, and you'd be right. But here's the cool part. Almost all of them follow one of just a few simple patterns. Think of them like basic recipes in a cookbook. Once you know the recipes, it all gets a lot less intimidating.
So here are the big 4. First, you've got synthesis. That's just when 2 or more simple things combine to make one more complex thing. A plus B makes AB. Simple. Next is decomposition, which is the exact opposite. One big thing breaks down into its simpler parts. AB becomes A and B again. Then it gets a little more fun with single displacement. This is like a dancer cutting in, where one element kicks another one out of a partnership. And finally, double displacement. This is like a big square dance where 2 couples just swap partners.
So why does any of this matter? 4 recipes, some clues, who cares? Well, you should, because when you understand these basic rules, you start to understand the invisible engine that makes the whole world run. Your world is a laboratory.
This is really the main takeaway. Chemical reactions aren't just a chapter in some dusty old textbook. They're happening inside you this very second, digesting your food, helping you breathe. They are the invisible script that dictates pretty much everything that happens in the world.
So the next time you light a candle or see leftovers go bad in the fridge, you'll know what's really going on. You're a reaction detective now. You've got the clues. So my question for you is this: what chemical reaction will you spot next?